Hey, what's up you guys? My name is Emily, and in this video I'm going to show you 3 DIYs you can do with embroidery hoops. This is also a collab with Everyday Mama, and on her channel she shows organization tips, crafts, and much more. She is also going to be showing 3 DIYs you can do with embroidery hoops in her video, and I'll link to her channel and her video in the description down below. Also, check out her other videos and subscribe to her. Let's get on with the video. The first DIY I'm going to show you how to make is an embroidery hoop MEMO board. You're going to need an embroidery hoop of any size. You'll want to lay out some fabric with any color or pattern. And then you want to put your hoop on top of the fabric. And you want to cut a square around the hoop out of the fabric that's bigger than the hoop. The square doesn't have to be perfect. After you're done cutting out your square, you want to iron the fabric. When you're done ironing your fabric, you want to place the square on top of the inner embroidery hoop. Then you want to take some string, and you want to lay out the string in many different directions. You can put as many pieces of string that you want onto it, and make sure the string is longer than the hoop so you can pull the string later. Now you can take the outer hoop and put it over the fabric, the string, and the inner hoop. Then you want to tighten the screw at the top, and then you want to pull the string in the fabric as needed so the fabric and the string are tight in the hoop. Now you can flip the hoop over and trim off the excess fabric. The last thing you can do is that you want to glue the string onto the hoop, so the string doesn't come out of the hoop. And if you need to, you can cut the extra string off. When the MEMO board is done, you can take some pictures or notes and put them onto the string with clothespins. When you're done putting the pictures and notes onto the board, you can hang it on a wall. For the next DIY, I'm going to show you how to make a dream catcher. You want to use the inner hoop for this dream catcher, but you can make another dream catcher out of the other hoop if you want. You want to take a piece of yarn and tie one end of the yarn to the hoop, and make sure you leave a little bit of extra yarn from the knot because you're going to use it later. What you want to do is that you want to wrap the yarn all the way around the hoop, like how I'm doing here. If you roll the yarn into a ball, it will be easier to wrap the yarn around the hoop. Once you wrap the yarn all the way around the hoop, you can cut off the yarn you don't need, and then you can tie the yarn that you're wrapping with to the yarn you tied into a knot together into a knot. Now you can tie one end of another piece of yarn into a knot onto the hoop. Then you want to take that yarn and make a loop, and then you want to go around the hoop, and then you want to pull the yarn through the loop and tighten the loop. You want to do these same steps all the way around the hoop and make sure you space the loops out. Once you've gone all the way around the hoop, the first time you can do the same loops, but you want to do the loops on the yarn and not on the hoop. You'll do this every time you go around the hoop, and you can make as many rows that you want, and you can stop making the web of the dream catcher when you like how it looks. If you roll the yarn into a small ball, it will be a lot more easier to make the dream catcher's web. When you're done making the web of the dream catcher, you can cut off the yarn you don't need, and then you want to tie the yarn at the place where you stopped at into a knot. Then you can cut off any of the extra yarn. Now you want to take another piece of yarn and tie it into a loop, and then into a knot. You want something like this, and this is how the dream catcher will hang on a wall. Now you can put anything that you want onto your dream catcher. I put some lace, beaded string, and feathers onto the dream catcher. The way how I put the lace and the beaded string onto the dream catcher is by folding the lace or the beaded string in half. Then I put it under the hoop and then I pulled the tails of the lace or the string through the loop. You can do what I did, or you can just tie them onto the Dreamcatcher instead. Now you want to hang the Dreamcatcher onto the wall, and trim off anything you don't want with scissors. If you want, you can glue some feathers onto some string, or whatever you have on your Dreamcatcher. Then you'll be done with the Dreamcatcher and you can put it onto the wall. For the last DIY, I'm going to show you how to make an embroidery hoop pocket. You want to take an embroidery hoop that's any size, and you want to put it over fabric that is any color or pattern. And this will be behind the pocket. Then you want to cut a square around the hoop, and make sure it's bigger than the hoop. The square doesn't have to be perfect. Now you want to lay out another color or pattern, a fabric that will be for your pocket. Or you can just use the same color of fabric you use for the fabric that will be behind the pocket. And you want to put the first square over the fabric, and you want to cut around the square to get an identical square. This square doesn't have to be perfect either. After you're done cutting your squares, you should have 2 squares and you need to go iron the squares. When you're done ironing your squares, you want to place the square that will be in the back on top of the inner embroidery hoop. Then you want to take the square you're using for the pocket and fold it in half. Then you can place it over the first square and make sure the folded part is what will be in the hoop. All you have to do now is that you want to take the outer hoop and put it onto the inner hoop. Then you can tighten the screw at the top, and if you need to, you want to pull the fabric tight. The last thing you have to do is that you want to flip the embroidery hoop over and cut the excess fabric off. Then you'll be all done, and you can put pens, pencils, or anything that you want into the pocket, and you can even put a picture onto the pocket with a clothespin. And that's how you make all these DIYs. In the comments down below, let me know what you think about these DIYs, and if you like this video, give this video a thumbs up. And if you're new here, I do DIYs 3 times a week and a bullet journal video near the end of each month. So subscribe if you want to see more DIYs and bullet journal videos. And also don't forget to check out Everyday Mama's channel and her video, and subscribe to her channel. I put a link in the description down below to her channel and to her video. I will see you in the next video. Bye!